I love it. I love the iPhone 14. I think it's great. All right, guess who's back? Me am back. What? So, some stuff happened since I last uploaded. Let's get right into that. The iPhone 14, after a year's worth of iPhone 14 videos, is finally a thing. Yay! How fun! What am I going to title the videos now? Now, the day that this episode comes out, you should already be getting Apple Watch videos. And you would have known that already if you follow me on Twitter, because days ago, I leaked the embargo dates and times for all of the devices. Which means yesterday, we got some more in-depth iPhone 14 content. Because it's one thing having Apple talk about it, right? It's an entirely different thing, though, to have people that you trust, your favorite reviewers, showing it off. To play nice and fair, you're getting my thoughts on the iPhone 14 Pro, because the base model iPhone 14... So, what do I think of this thing? After a year of this, what do I think? If your kids are watching, cover their little kid ears. I f***ing love it. These were the renders that we put out ahead of time, and a lot of you have been coming back talking about how these are wrong. Specifically, this part. But, no, actually, look, the hardware itself does look like that. A pill hole punch on the left and another for the camera on the right. They're separated. The hardware renders were accurate. We just couldn't anticipate how it was going to be handled in software. And how they handled it in software? Pure genius. The dynamic island. There, that was it. That is the only time I'm going to call it that for the rest of the video. I refuse to play these reindeer games. It is rare that I praise Apple this hard for anything ever, but I am blown away by how they made such an ugly hardware oversight into something useful. And not just useful, it's also kind of cute. I mean, look at it. It's like a little buddy. How adorable. Gone are the days of Apple purposely trying to hide the notch in their own renders. This time, they're proud of the hole, and they want you to look right at it like, look! Look at me! This is my hole! And you can touch it! Seriously, you can touch it. The fact that they've made this something that adapts and something that you can interact with is the highlight of this device. This was the one thing about this device that I absolutely hated. 4 months on this show, talked about how terrible it was, and now it's my favorite part. Like, how did they... In fact, do you remember on the show months and months and months ago, when I said this, stick with me, because this is going to be crazy. Why didn't they just do this? The holes are like so close together anyway, it would just make sense to black out the space in between. Look, this looks so much better. Like, you were right there, Tim. Why didn't you just commit and just go the rest of the way? Thank you, Jesus. Or Steve Jobs, whoever did it. Looks like absolute duty outdoors, though. You can clearly see the two cutouts in direct sunlight. It just doesn't... that does not look good. Good thing I'm always hanging upside down in my closet. No sunlight in there. The cameras are great. Yeah, we'll call them very good. Great is reserved for, like, the Pixel devices. They fixed things that I had problems with before, specifically in low light, and the 48 megapixel sensor, that's nice, but it's video, where the iPhone just has no competition. The updates to cinematic mode look absolutely ridiculous. This is from a phone, and the new action mode, though it's a bit gimmicky, is amazing. I love this. Oh, also, the corners of these phones are a little rounder than before to match the other curves of the device. And believe it or not, this is one of those things that I appreciate the most. It is so satisfying. And listen, yes, there are some other changes, like the Pro models have the new A16 chip. That's cool, but like at this point, it all go vroom, you know? This is a perfect example of one of those phones that you absolutely positively do not need, especially if you're coming from the iPhone 13. But listen, if you got the money, honey, This is nice. I'll be getting mine tomorrow. I don't expect to change any of my thoughts that I have in this video. The phone just isn't that different from what I'm already using. I sort of know what to expect, but I'm still excited to have it. Speaking of getting my phone, I do need to pay for it. What if you could send your kids to school without sending them to school? OutSchool offers live, online, and interactive classes for kids ages 3 to 18 with the widest variety of subjects and teachers. From solving magical math mysteries to experimenting with edible chemistry, kids can find answers that will fuel their imagination and excel at OutSchool. OutSchool's learning environment is fun, friendly, and connects kids with teachers and other kids from all around the world. A whole community of new friends is just a click away. So set learning free. Head over to outschool.com/FPT and use code FPT to learn more and save 15% off your child's first class. And of course, a huge thanks to OutSchool for sponsoring this episode. Oh, hey, welcome back. By the way, since we're plugging things, have you been to the new frontpagetech.com yet? We completely rebuilt frontpagetech.com. If you're not using it, do that on your desktop or mobile device. I don't care how you do it, just do it. All right, and last up for the day, story numero lasto, we have a bit of a sussy report from our friends over at Digitimes, saying that some of Apple's suppliers have all hands on deck ready to produce and ship the next generation of 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro, with a little surprise for Pappy. Per Digitimes sources, these suppliers are prepping for the flood of next-generation MacBook Pro by actually slowing down production of the existing Mac lineup. Similarly, Digitimes notes that some of Apple's suppliers have already ramped down production of the first-gen AirPods Pro following the second-gen's announcement last week. So this is just a thing that happens when a new generation of Apple product releases. Here's Pappy's little surprise, though. These bad boys are going to be packing the brand new M2 Pro and M2 Max chips. I guess that's not really a surprise that we knew. Okay. This all lines up perfectly with the October event. We know that the October event is a thing because of Mark Gurman, the Gurmy Wormy. He reported multiple times that Apple is planning on doing this in October. And it's going to be all about Mac and iPad. So with this new Digitimes report, it sure seems like all of these pieces are falling nicely into the puzzle of MacBook Pro-ness. Don't expect any fancy redesigns, though. We already did that. That 2021 MacBook Pro is spicy. So just expect those, but with the new chips. The rumor mill for this October event is getting bigger and bigger every day, so keep an eye on the channel. I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about that. We're of course expecting new iPad Pro models with iPad OS, but some people think that we could see a Mac Mini with M2, and even the first Apple Silicon Mac Pro. But like, that is a lot, guys, and we just got the new Mac Studio. They just released that like a few months ago. But listen, if they do give us a Mac Pro, let's just hope it doesn't look like a trash can. Huh?